All right, we're live. Welcome to the Spinnin Backfist MMA show for Thursday, March 16th. As you could see, it's not the usual setup here. We're not in the office. I'm at home. Jack Max at home. Ev is on the road for March Madness. He's in Columbus. We've got a new Barstool Sportsbook opening there. Make sure you place your bets if you're in Columbus. But we're here to talk about UFC 286 today. There's an awesome card this weekend, UFC London. We're getting the trilogy. Kamaru Usman versus Leon Edwards 3. I actually just got a press release this morning, the weirdest press release I've ever gotten. Let me read it to you guys. Revealed, Kamaru Usman net worth to reach $4 million after UFC 286.
Wait.
With a breakdown of Kamaru Usman's career earnings. I don't know who sent this out, but yeah.
It's
Congrats
from
to
UFC?
Kamaru. No, I think it's from like Kamaru's PR team.
Oh, that would make okay.
I don't know if it's Kamaru's, but it's definitely a third party PR team. They said prior to UFC 286, he was estimated to have a net worth of $3 million, but after this one, $4 million Kamaru. That's the new man.
Well, congrats to Kamaru. Just a very weird. Me personally, I really wouldn't want people knowing my net worth because it just presents more problems. But
you're also, Jack, to be fair, you seem like an off the grid kind of guy. You're like, I'd prefer to be off the grid completely.
Yeah, but also it's like if you net worth, people never really don't understand net worth because they think if you're worth $4 million, you have $4 million. So Kamaru's going to be going out to dinner, and people are going to be like, "Well, your net worth's $4 million, you should pay." But like his money's tied up in probably a lot of things because he's a smart guy. But I wouldn't want people. I would want people to think my net worth is like 50,000. Like that's a good net worth. Like for people to think I am.
You certainly want the IRS to think that. Like,
oh yeah,
taxes. That's nice. Ev, how are we doing in Columbus?
Good. I'm going to agree with Jack back here. I don't know why in the world. I'm actually going to go as far as say I'd be shocked if that was actually from Usman's people. Like, why in the world would you be sending out a press release saying I have X amount of money?
Yeah,
that's
flexing on your money. Yeah.
Like, why would you say that? Like, what is it?
Yeah.
Also,
it's definitely a weird thing to wake up to.
Kind of the way the UFC does the pay structure and how they kind of like they only show like certain amounts. I bet he has more money than that, to be honest, or has made.
Yeah,
more
you're
money
probably right. You're probably right.
I mean, the guy's fought how many title fights now? 6, 7.
Yeah.
Points on all of them.
He had to have accumulated like I don't know. Like obviously, what Jack Mack said, net worth isn't what you have in your pocket, but I have to assume he's made more than that in his UFC career. I would think.
Yeah, getting points on Masvidal fights too.
Like that he was the champ. That sold over a million pay-per-views.
Yeah.
And also those net worth, like people will be like you'll be debating something or people will be talking about net worth. This isn't a UFC or MMA discussion. This is just in general. And like people will cite it from Google. And I remember I was younger and I thought that was true. Nobody knows how much money anybody has. Like if you think about it, like how would you know if a movie star or football player, basketball player, MMA fighter invested his money properly? Maybe Kamaru invested in some brilliant thing and he's worth like, I don't know, $25-50 million. And that's why he's releasing. He's only worth $4 million. So maybe this is a big brain playing by him.
I love the breakdown of Kamaru Usman's net worth. You didn't think you were getting this on the Spinnin Backfist show today, but you're getting it. You're getting it, all right? So make sure you like the video if you're watching already. And do you want to get right into the card? We have a big card to get into. Obviously, Ev's got a live stream to get to at 12 or 11. What time are you live streaming, actually?
We'll start at 12. I got to be there by 11:30.
So people check that out if you're into.
We'll be live essentially from 12 Eastern to like midnight, pretty much.
Did you guys see the two girls kissing before their fight, like in a weigh-in?
No.
Women. So
no.
There's this clip. I saw it, I think yesterday, of these two women they're at a weigh-in. They kiss, and the fight just happened. It looks like, and it was a 2v2 women's fight. And I'm not going to show it on YouTube because it would get the stream taken down. But after the fight, the women took off their tops and their celebrating.
I saw this.
The whole crowd.
They showed their tits, to the whole crowd.
Man,
what?
Yes, I can't show it on YouTube right now because the stream would get taken down.
Rated R. It's not a rated R show. Yeah.
I'm gonna post it on Spinning Backfist, the Twitter.
Okay. Yeah, post it.
Elon's Twitter. So, and then if anybody wants to go see it, if you're listening, watch it back. It's there.
What an insane.
If Jack's gonna post it, the fans will see for themselves. Nice pair of tits on the young girls.
There's
all right,
two.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
They may be in hand.
I'm assuming that when I say young, I'm saying they're like in their mid-20s. I'm assuming. But
yes.
Oh yeah,
these are very, very attractive, potentially fake breasts, but they're almost too perfect. They probably are fake. Both of them.
This is an unreal start to the show today. We're not in the studio, and chaos just arrives. We do also have an interview coming out right after this show with Aljamain Sterling. Teased it in the last interview or in the last episode, and at 11 o'clock in the morning Eastern time, it will hit the YouTube. We talk about the Merab fight. We talk about him possibly fighting Merab and his response to Dana saying they should fight. We talk about his meeting with Conor McGregor, his upcoming fight with Henry Cejudo, who he calls Triple Turd, and how cringy he is and how much I don't like Henry Cejudo. So it's pretty good. Check it out at 11. Make sure you like that video as well. The McGregor video is going off. It's got over 500,000 views already. I think closing in on 600. Crazy. Thanks to everyone who watched that and supported that. Pretty wild for everyone to be quoting My Mom's Basement too. Like every real outlet is like, on My Mom's Basement, Conor McGregor said. I love that.
Truly amazing. Number 8 on trending. I don't know where it is now, but I mean, I think if you searched McGregor yesterday on any search engine, the first thing that popped up was that interview. So
crazy. Not anymore though. I got cucked. Ariel cucked me.
I know Ariel, fucking Ariel. But that was also a good interview by Ariel and whatnot.
Yeah, it was, and that one was a long time coming too. Like I've been working towards my Conor interview for 6 years. Ariel's been working towards an in-person one for 10. So I'll let him, have that one. And
you had it first, though. Let's not forget.
I had it before Rogan too. I'll never let that one go. I got McGregor.
That is
Rogan.
true.
Yeah. Let's talk about the UFC 286 card. We got a great card. We got a lot of fights to break down. Weigh-ins going down tomorrow. Hopefully everyone makes weight. Or weigh-ins going down in the afternoon. What's that weight? What's that time difference? I did London twice last year, and I don't even remember.
I think the main card is going to start Eastern time at like 5, I think.
Okay.
I think.
So maybe weigh-ins will go down around the same time.
Prelims like 1, like early prelims, I think start at 1 maybe.
The first fight listed on the early prelims, let's see, is Juliana Miller versus Veronica Macedo in the women's flyweight division. You guys got to play on this one?
This one's kind of one. I mean, it's a wide line. Juliana Miller should win. Veronica Macedo hasn't fought in a while. I'm probably just going to sit this one out. I mean, maybe I'll find something, but it's just – I think Veronica is married to somebody on the UFC roster, but we haven't seen her in a while.
Ev, you nodded right away. Do you got to play?
I'm just a massive, massive Miller fan. She won the last season's Ultimate Fighter. I've coined her like a she almost has Diaz brothers characteristics. She's just a zombie in the cage. She's just a killer. She just doesn't stop. She just what I love about her is obviously like especially in women's MMA we don't see like a ton of finishes. She goes after it. Like she wants a finish badly. So I like her. Like if you want like either submission, ground and pound, like she's just ferocious. Like she's the type like when you see her eyes in the cage, she just looks like she has no soul. And all she wants to do is take yours. I love watching her fight. So I think her inside the distance, or if you want to play like it could be a coin flip because she really can do either, like a ground and pound or a submission. She wants to tackle you and just maul you essentially. But
I remember you comparing her to the Diaz Bros now.
The distance line probably isn't great because she's a minus like 480 favorite.
Yeah,
Macedo is married to Dan Hardy, who I famously said got fired for domestic abuse. I think, but
Wrong Hardy.
I was just so wrong. Shout out Dan Hardy. He does some great YouTube stuff, but that's who Veronica's married to.
Yeah, Dan Hardy's one of the best breakdown guys in the game. When you watch his like pre-fight breakdowns, I think he explains it for the casual person better than almost anybody.
Yeah, he's great.
All right, the next fight on UFC 286 in the lightweight division, Jai Herbert versus Ludwig Klein. Jai Herbert had a rough go in London last year. Hopefully, he can turn it around and get a win.
Yeah, I mean, he stunned Ilya.
He did.
Oh, yeah, that hurt bad.
There was a like, I mean, if you think about it, like Ilya went on to just destroy Bryce Mitchell, who now is just biking around in LA.
What the fuck was that video, by the way? We didn't talk about that. Why was he biking around with sticks and survival gear? And at the end of the video, too, the way it cuts off is the funniest thing. He's like, if anybody tries to rape me, and then it just cuts off.
You know,
the guy
was talking to jail
all the way from LAX.
And also, like, why was he at LAX with a bike and a shopping cart?
A shopping cart and sticks and tarp.
Like, what was he doing?
Why is it? I was so confused how LAX mattered at all.
Yeah, like he didn't fly in and get his shopping cart off baggage claim, did he?
Maybe.
Yeah, but what's he doing in LA? Like,
why is he there?
What's he doing out there?
Doesn't he hate, like, California, the liberal state of California? Anyway,
does he think we're gonna get more like balloons out there? He's like, I'm here to shoot him down.
Well, he doesn't have any like guns or anything. All he has is sticks.
It sticks and like it almost looked like antlers. Like he had like deer antlers in there.
That's why when I first saw the video, I literally thought there was a dead deer in it because the sticks looked like antlers, but they were just big sticks, I think.
All right, there's Lee just helped us out. He was going to
that
doesn't explain much, Lee. Like he was going to jiu-jitsu class. Why did he have the sticks and survival gear?
He was wearing jeans.
Yeah, which maybe he does jiu-jitsu in jeans.
He looks so disheveled.
Yeah, that's true. He could definitely do some jiu-jitsu in jeans.
Anyways,
it's a crazy video. If you guys haven't seen it, go watch it.
I do like Ludwig here a little bit. I just think this could be a bit like a banger of a fight. But I think Ludwig's just a little bit better. And if somebody comes at Jai, like he invites that, but I think Ludwig's going to find a way. Great point by Lee. You guys are trying to make sense of Bryce Mitchell. You just can't.
Fair.
Facts.
Fair.
That is the most true thing that's ever been said in our comment section, I think. We cannot make sense of Bryce Mitchell. Joanne Wood in the women's flyweight division takes on Luana Carolina. Again, I've said it before. I'll say it again. I cannot believe that Joanne Calderwood married someone with the last name Wood, and now she's just Joanne Wood. She just shortened her last name. That will never not blow my mind.
No, she got married to somebody with the last name Wood.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. She got married and then just shortened her name, essentially.
I can't believe this fight was almost in the main card.
I know.
Oh, was it?
Yes.
It was for a while. Then somebody came to their senses and were like, what are we doing?
They put.
Thank God. No offense. No disrespect.
And put,
this is the No Disrespect podcast.
Card, which I think was definitely the right move.
Yes. Better.
Thoughts
on this fight?
I mean, like, Joanne should win, but then it's like Luana's going to come in there and have the not striking advantage, but distance advantage.
Yeah,
I kind of think of who's that French woman that we saw almost beat Nunes? Not Amanda. The smaller one was like 5'1". She was fighting. They started
Nunes?
Yeah.
Yes.
I kind of get those vibes because like Luana's gonna come in there and tower over her, and Luana could throw something, but like Joanne should win, and she should. I'm not.
Agreed. Not betting it, but yeah, I would. If I had to pick the fight, I would pick Wood. I mean,
someone said that the undercards are really weak on this one. How do you guys feel about that? I think it's okay.
It's okay.
Lee was pointing out that the next pay-per-view is a bigger deal, but also, I mean, you have to realize, I mean, I think UFC probably planned this with the idea that, Patty, Molly, Aspinall would all be on it, and they're all injured, battling injuries, or taking some time off. So the undercard kind of hurt because of that.
Hopefully it's one of those cards where it surprises us and all these fights are just absolute bangers. The next fight can be a banger in the flyweight division. Jake Hadley versus Malcolm Gordon. Fly never die. Love the flyweight division. It's been on a roll recently. Another good fight here.
This is where this fight can go like two very different ways in my opinion. Like there's the Malcolm Gordon, who I think the MMA consensus, the MMA capper consensus is generally that he's like just not good. And I wouldn't totally like argue that. But at the same time, this is a guy who his last fight took Makayev's back twice.
Yeah,
and
true.
Really was, I thought, like maybe impressively strong, but I'd say he did much better than I expected. I'll say that. So, and Hadley, I think, is very good, but Hadley is kind of like, he's at times in the UFC, I feel like he has underwhelmed me a little bit. You'll remember, he was the first guy ever. He missed weight at the Contender Series, and Dana liked him so much, he still gave him a chance. And he got beat up pretty bad by Nascimento, but that's not like a crazy, like, terrible loss for like a young guy like coming in early. Like, I think, like, I mean, I wouldn't bet Gordon. I don't trust him enough, but Hadley, I don't know, minus 400 scares me a little bit, but like he should win. I mean, and I wouldn't be shocked at all if he covered the price, but it just scares me a little bit because Gordon, I think sometimes he does this weird thing where he really a lot of fights he just does a little bit better than people expect.
Yeah, he certainly did in his last fight.
And he had the one he was a dog to I'm forgetting the guy's name, and then he literally like snapped his arm in the first round. I'm forgetting the guy's name.
That was nasty.
But he like just weird shit like that has happened for him. Like, where I don't know, like maybe he's a little better than we think, but I don't think super highly of him.
Who was that he snapped his arm?
His name's like Edner, something like it ends like with an ER. I remember he like it was the fight. It was so weird because I remember he was a like pretty decent underdog, and he literally
Dennis
snapped his arm. Yes.
Dennis Bodar?
Yes.
That's kind of where I think Hadley should win, but there's something about Gordon that just, I don't know. There's something about him I don't like. I think
a little dog in him.
I do like, personally, Hadley to finish this inside the distance. You're not going to get a great line on it, so like, I'm not necessarily suggesting that to bet it, but I think Hadley, Malcolm's not bad, but his chin's just kind of so I could see Hadley catching it. Gordon, you're not wrong. Gordon really impressed against Makayev. I mean, think about it. Makayev ran through Charles Johnson and Cody Durden, who are two pretty good fighters. They're nothing phenomenal, but they're not bad. And then the guy who gave him his toughest time was Malcolm Gordon. But just how Hadley fights, I think he should come out victorious inside the distance.
Up next, we've got in the middleweight division, Christian Leroy Duncan versus Dusko Dorovic. Is Dorovic a underdog in this one? I think he is slightly.
Dusko is, I believe,
like plus 200 almost.
No, I think he's. Wait, where? I'm just sorry, I can't find it.
I was gonna say I don't hate him here. I saw him at plus money, and I was like, "Hey, Dusko plus money." I don't hate that.
This should be a good fight.
Leroy's he's like the big like Cage Warrior star making his debut.
Yeah, haven't seen him before, so
he's a big. He's like a big. He's gonna get a big pop. He's a big they love him in England. I'm pretty sure he's a big like English star. He's been like a Cage Warriors champion for a while. I'm pretty sure I think he was a welterweight Cage Warriors champion. I'm pretty sure, and then finally his last fight finally got him the UFC call.
And we got people in the chat loving him as well, saying they love Duncan.
This is the first Chris Duncan on the fight card. There's two.
Yeah, the other one was the guy that had that crazy comeback.
Yep.
Where he was out on his feet and then just slept the guy. That was awesome.
I do like this guy a little bit better than the other Chris. No disrespect to the other Chris, but this is my number one Chris Duncan on the card. I think he should. Dusko's going to go in there and go for the finish. He always does. But I think you're right. I mean, but the only thing is your UFC debut, I know you have the home crown behind you, but those jitters may be too much for you. So paying a high price tag on him, this is unfortunately like these big pay-per-view cards. You want to You know, you want to bet every fight. You want to do this. You want to do that. But then you look at some of these price tags and you're like, I don't know if I bet all of these like this long term, I'm probably going to end up losing money if I force a lot of these things. So this should be a sick fight because at the end of the day, it's probably going to end inside the distance. And then also, he's going to have a big pop. Like I've said, Cage Warriors champ. And inside the distance for this to end is, let's see if we've released our props yet. We have not. So, but I would assume
Dan Murphy loves it in the chat. He says this one screams inside the distance. And then Tyler right after one says over 1.5 and even feels off. Dusko's durable, has takedown path. So we got people maybe even disagreeing in the chat. I love that, a little discussion, a little back and forth, healthy back and forth.
Yes,
I feel like Cage Warriors guys in the UFC have been very like hit or miss. Like I feel like there hasn't been much like right that you've had guys like Connor who came on to be double champion, and guys who were like champs over there that came over and flopped. Like there's very like, I think it's very like it's hard, it's tough to read. I think just from their competition level.
100%.
So tough to tell. But I'm excited for this one. And then in the featherweight division, LaRon Murphy versus Gabriel Santos.
All right, so I like LaRon here. You know, he's a Brit. Santos, LFA champ, so he's legit. He's not a joke by any means, but he took this fight on 10 days notice, and he's gonna have to fly across the world, completely different time zones. I mean, I guess not that difficult because it's like kind of America to England. Actually, a little bit further, obviously. And then once his body adjusts, he's gonna have to get ready. UFC jitters, first fight in a raucous environment. It's gonna be after the Duncan fight, and they're gonna have another Brit coming out. They'll support LaRon Murphy. I really like LaRon here. Definitely a fight or a bet I will have on Saturday afternoon.
I'm looking for the odds right here. What are the odds? Do you know?
I think he's around minus.
He's not like
around 160.
Massive favorite. I don't think.
Minus 180. LaRon Murphy on the Barstool Sportsbook right now. Now I think Santos is a guy that could lose this one, and then we see him down the line. Kind of, you know, I'm not saying a championship run or anything, but could be a guy that is a nice little underdog piece in his next fight because he's taking this on short notice.
Love him as well. Tough. Oh yeah.
Well, also
short notice in London.
I think because he's not a huge favorite, I think he would get a decent price in finishing here. Mm-hmm. Like when the props come out, I think I wouldn't be shocked if his KO was like plus like 200, maybe better, which you're not going to see very often in his fights.
Yeah, it's a good point. So look out for those props. We'll let you know when it goes up and everything. And then we get onto the main prelims. Muhammad Makai versus Rafael Filo. I mean, this one's going to be a murder, you would imagine. But Makai, I mean, in his last fight didn't look as good as we thought he would.
I'm starting to think like Makai is like really talking up his game, and
I know.
Listen, he's 3-0. He has not like looked like this world like. He's acting like he's like this world beater. He literally said he's going to beat this guy making his debut, then fighting a ranked guy, then a title eliminator, then champion. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, it's not the best.
He hasn't fought anyone like really good in the UFC yet. No one even close to ranked.
Did you see? Yeah, his
Malcolm Gordon almost submitted him.
His map, his game plan, it's crazy.
Like I'm like who like what like. You're gonna have to go like you know how many like good flyweights there are he's gonna have to go through if he wants to get a title shot.
Also, he's
like, who was he calling out after his last fight too?
Better spot than it was in years ago. I mean, there's a lot of guys like
he called someone out after his last fight that I thought was insane.
He's not gonna fight like number like 12 and then just be like in a title eliminator. Like he's nuts if he thinks that. I think he might struggle with this fight. Who knows? Like I don't like I just think he's been getting these super wide odds and he has not really been covering them. Besides. I guess the Durden fight, but that was like very like hit him with a big knee and then just choked him. Yeah. So it's very fast. Like if Gordon can like give you comp grappling, this guy's like from what I've seen. I'm not gonna say it pretending I've watched a ton of tape on him or anything, but at least from what I've seen of him and like what I've looked at of him, he is a pretty like good grappler. And I think he maybe can hang with him. So the price is crazy wide. I mean, I'm not saying like bet Filo, but I don't know. I'm starting to like. I don't know, Makai. I'm starting to like. I don't know, something a little fishy there. Like I just don't think he's as good as he says he is.
And shout out Lee in the chat. He was calling out Brandon Royval, which was just like, what are you talking about?
Like, I think
you're going to get Brandon Royval after the last fight.
Way to get him out of there. I like Royval.
Yeah, I think so too. Jack?
Yeah, Makai talks a big game. I do think he's very good. He's so set on this. I want to be the youngest champ in UFC history, which is a fine goal, but like, don't force your hand. That being said, he should be able to take down Fiallo here, a contender series guy that didn't really impress. But Fiallo isn't awful and also has some good defensive grappling. So I'll probably end up taking a shot on Makai by decision, especially if it's over like plus 150, plus 175. Just a little bit to have an action on this fight, because I don't think I would feel safe putting Makai in a parlay, all things considered.
I think you're right. I think you're right about that. I like Tyler's comment here. He's taking sub at 2,000 just out of principle, given Malcolm fucking Gordon had Makayev's back.
By the way,
plus 2,000, I don't hate that.
I just posted. I posted the tits on Twitter. If anyone wants to go see.
Great. Everyone go over to the Spinnin Backfist Twitter. Check it out.
It's I found out where it's from. It was a Czech Republic.
Okay. I would have guessed Russia. Would have just went right to Russia in my brain.
And they're OnlyFans models.
Good marketing.
Yeah.
Good marketing.
Phenomenal. These women are rich.
In the lightweight division, Sam Patterson versus Yanal Asmaaz.
Okay, so Yismail.
I was going to say, this guy's making his debut, right? Yanal?
Yeah. He's one of the only Israeli Jewish fighters on the roster, which is cool. I think there's somebody else I'm blanking on, but yes, there was. I am looking at this from the perspective of Patterson is this massive 155 pounder. I think he's like 6'2", 6'3", goes in there and cuts down the 155. You have a huge height advantage in there. I think he should just kind of win on all in all areas. That being said, Amosov, or however you say his name, could go in there, catch Patterson, though. I wouldn't be shocked. I'm not the highest on Patterson. You're paying a big price tag here. But, yeah, I mean, I think Patterson should roll.
Yeah, I don't really have a player. I think the other Israeli is it Nat Levy?
Nat Levy.
Oh, yeah.
He reps the Israeli flag.
Yeah, so, I mean, best of luck to Amosov. I just think Patterson's another English guy, right?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
So
he looks it, too. You just look at his face. He's got one of those British faces.
Yeah, so this should be a decent fight. I think this is kind of a squash spot for Amosov. But we've seen those go the opposite way before. Like, he doesn't give a fuck where the fight is. He's going to go in there and try to knock Patterson out, and it's possible.
It is. And then the other Chris Duncan fights, the other Chris Duncan in the lightweight division against Omar Morales. Right, this is the second to last fight on the prelims before Jack Shore.
I do like Omar here. But Duncan is high energy. This is the second Chris Duncan. He goes in there. He throws a lot of strikes, a lot of leg kicks. But I think
this is basically a pick'em, right? Am I right about that?
And I believe Omar fights out of a good training camp. If Lee is still in the chat, he probably knows.
I've seen a lot of Morales love. A lot of it.
And I think Morales will have the proper game plan in there. And the only thing is, he could kind of be just like outworked for the entire fight. But I am probably going to end up on Morales.
Morales all day in the chat. Also, shout out Bog said that's a great tweet by Spinnin Backfist. Well,
thank you. Yeah, we love.
Better be a great tweet. Yeah. And shout out Nick. Congrats on the McGregor interview. Thank you. It was very surreal stuff. And then in the prelim main event, we've got Makwan Americani versus Jack Shore. What are the odds on this one?
Jack Shore is minus.
Jack Shore is a heavy favorite. Okay, super heavy, way heavier than I thought he was. I was going to say, if you're getting Jack Shore at like a good price tag there, maybe you got to play him at a proper round if you're going to play him at that.
I don't know. Like, I just don't care. I don't really see what justifies me minus 500 moving up a weight class.
That's a lot.
Like,
that's
I like Jack
ton.
Shore a lot. It's nothing against him personally. I think he's a very good fighter too. Moving up a weight class minus 500 just seems like, I don't know. Like, if you're going to give me,
I thought he was going to be minus 2-3.
Like Amir Khani plus like 380, like, or even like a little sub prop. Like, I almost don't know how you don't take a stab at it.
I mean,
Jack Shore's getting subbed though.
His Amir Khani's, by the way, greatest Tapology picture of all time. Legendary. Just like Sigma Amir Khani. I get it. I understand trying to bet on the top G Amir Khani, and I think his entire win probability is, or at least 90% of it is within the first round sub. Like, he might be plus 380, and his first round sub number may be like
plus like 450.
Yeah, like 61.
It's not more than that, but still, yeah. I mean, you're not wrong.
I will say, like, if Barstool, not to, I'm sure they'll be smart in this, but if they like put out there like Jack Shore round 2, round 3, high 10, like round 3, 10-1, 11-1, 12-1, that'd be a massive bet. But I would be shocked if it's over like 7-1.
Yeah, he definitely he has had some good first rounds and then fumbled bags later in fights.
Yeah,
remember like the JSP fight, he like almost had him, and then JSP just like beat the shit out of him after once he was kind of like wasn't able to get those initial subs. And then LaRon Murphy, he beat him. He definitely like dominated round 1. I want to say even I can't remember if it happened in the second round or third round. If he dominated second round 2, what happened in the third, or if it was in the second. But then he just got hit with like a massive knee and just got knocked out.
I think it was.
But he was like he was a huge underdog and was like dominating, and then just got caught with a huge knee.
Wasn't it MSG? Wasn't that fight at MSG?
I don't think so. I remember I had bet on Amir Khani, and I was on the road for college football show, and I remember like we were literally on a plane going home or going somewhere, and I like was watching it on my phone right as we were taking off, and I just see him get knocked out, and I was like, fuck.
I was it was Abu Dhabi, Yan versus Teixeira, 267.
Oh, that makes sense. I think it was, you know what it was? It was because it was in the morning. We did like an early show at East Lansing, and then we flew back to stream. So that makes sense.
Yep, yeah. October 30th, and
makes sense.
Makwan looked great in that first round, and then he took that knee and he was just dead.
He just died. Yeah, it was painful.
And then on to the main card, UFC 286. Middleweights kick it off. Marvin Vittori versus Roman Deliza. I think Marvin Vittori is going to just run through and make this fight look easy.
So I'm going to give it to Ev because Deliza is his guy.
Mm-hmm. You know that Deliza plus 230. Come on. This guy is, I think he's so slept on. Listen, Vittori's really good. Really, really good. His head's made of literally concrete. Like, I don't think he's getting knocked out or anything. Deliza's a powerful guy. He's powerful. He's got like great. I mean, what he did to Hermansson grappling in the last fight was like ridiculous. That position that he had Hermansson literally legitimately in a pretzel.
Yeah.
People joke about putting him in a pretzel. He was legitimately face down, like knee caught like in his leg, like literally could not move his bottom half, was just eating punches. I think
turned him into origami.
Like that. What's up?
He turned him into origami.
I get excited when I talk about Deliza. He just has this like, I don't know. He just keeps making me. He makes me feel smart because I just believe in him. He keeps making me look good, and I just want him to make me look good one more time. And it's crazy that he's in a spot where like I don't know if this would definitely happen, but if he wins this fight, he's at least in consideration for a title shot.
Yep.
Because he beat Vittori's number 4 right now, and there's nobody else up there that hasn't fought for the belt already.
He even called
now if Pereira beats Adesanya again, then that could change things, of course. But if like Izzy was able to get the belt back, I mean, I guess they would do a trilogy with Pereira, obviously. Yeah. But I think Deliza would be like, well, he'd probably get Whitaker. Honestly, probably would be what happened. But still. Which I don't know. I would feel much less confident him fighting Whitaker because I think Bobby Knuckles is a monster. But I mean, what he did to Vittori was so impressive.
He's a bad matchup for anybody.
I think Deliza can beat Vittori. I really do.
Deliza did say that yesterday on the mic, or when he was being interviewed. He's like, "I deserve a title shot if I win this," which is, I mean, more power to you. What he did to Phil Hawes was disgusting. Like he literally just tore up his knee. It was just like, no, it's like you can't. And then he just, after tearing up his knee, he went and just, man, that was brutal.
That's on the ref.
Yep, I know.
His knee was fucked, and Deliza was like, "Yo, like this guy, I literally just ripped this guy's knee in half." And then he was like, "Nah, go." And he's like, "All right, you want me to knock him out cold? I'm gonna knock him out cold on his bum knee." And that was exactly.
Let's say I'm Vittori here, but Vittori is no disrespect. I mean, like he's not the smartest guy in the world. He's kind of like the guy from. He's kind of the guy from high school that was like everybody loved him, but he was a little bit like, "What's 2 + 2?" I don't know.
He's a meathead. He's a classic meathead.
And he's remember the lead up to Izzy Vittori? It was the funniest shit in the world. Vittori at one point was talking about like how much he loves Italy while he was sitting on an Italian flag. It was just like it was like it didn't add up. But I do like Vittori. But I don't know if the Lidsay's burned me so many times. But if there is an aspect here you're looking for, the Lidsay, Georgian, they're on. This would be back-to-back weekends, huge wins if the Lidsay wins, obviously with Merab.
And also a little weird thing, just a little storyline in this fight. I guess they actually know each other very well, and Vittori was like upset that Deliza wanted the fight.
Huh.
And Deliza, I don't know if you saw Deliza. He was like, I don't know why he's taking it personally. He's like, we're both professional athletes. Like, I want to win the belt. Like he's in my way. Like he was like, I don't see why it has to be like personal. He was like, I respect him. Like I like him, but like I'm gonna fight him. And I guess Vittori was did not like it that he was like so willing to fight him, but Deliza was like, I want it, so they made it happen.
Interesting. Jennifer Maia takes on Casey ONeill, the fight we referenced before that I guess replaced the Joanne Wood, almost at Calderwood, the Joanne Wood fight on the main card.
Definitely.
I do think Casey ONeill is going to win this one. Yeah, it's close odds. Casey ONeill is the favorite, but I think for good reason. I think she'll win this one.
Casey ONeill almost had a fight in between this with the Twitter troll who then ended up just deleting his account. I think it was going to happen at Extreme Couture. I'm pretty sure that's where the fight was.
Like the troll was going to show up.
Yeah, they said come 3 to 5. We have open sparring or whatever. And Casey was like, "I'll fight you then." And then Extreme Couture was like, "We'll make you sign papers and it'll be fine." And then
was this a guy we're talking about? She was going to beat up a dude.
Yeah, it was a burner Twitter account, but it was one of those situations where the guy was saying like, women's MMA is so dumb, I could beat all of them at one of those things. And then Casey ONeill was like, "Okay, come to Extreme Couture tomorrow."
Take one leg kick. Yeah, you'll regret that real quick.
Yeah. This is another one of those fights that's just, I don't know if I want to get caught laying the juice on Casey ONeill -185. I feel like Maia's the play +150, but Casey ONeill's going to have the crowd behind her for sure.
I like her like -180. I feel like that's not too steep.
No, yeah. I mean, she could definitely come out here and look that this was a cheap price tag.
It's definitely a solid jump up for her, but yeah, I don't think I'm going to bet it, but I would lean Casey.
Yeah. Brian Barbarina versus Gunnar Nelson. Gunny making his return. I love seeing Gunnar Nelson fight. Connor said he might be there during the Ariel interview. He's like, I might be there for the main event, the welterweight title fight. But he also wants to see Gunnar Nelson. I saw Scott B in the chat said, is Nelson by sub the easiest bet ever? I don't know if it's the easiest bet ever. I think the easiest bet ever was Bo Nickel round 1 sub. But I think Gunnar Nelson via sub is a pretty easy bet. I think that's a good bet.
I like Gunnar here. Barbarina, like, I think our guy Magic tweeted out, and he's tweeted out multiple times over the past like four weeks or since the fight's been announced. It's like, cut Gunnar Nelson if he can't sub Brian Barbarina. He's like, he said like just like take like end the UFC if he can't sub him. But Gunnar's last fight when he came back, which I feel like was a year ago.
In London, right? Was his last fight?
It was against, I think, was it Sato, was it? Sato.
And he had the back the entire time, but just
like the whole fight.
Couldn't find the sub, so I mean,
fight and just couldn't submit him.
What's the price tag on sub? Okay, so this is where
it's gotta be not like crazy.
This is where I'm with Lee. So if you're thinking Gunnar by sub, what has to happen is Gunnar has to go in there, take down Brian Barbarina, and Lee is pointed out perfectly. Brian Barbarina got taken down 8 times by Jason Witt. What's Gunnar going to do? So
that's a valid point.
So we'll see.
Plus 123 sub.
I almost feel like you got to take it.
Not a great line, obviously, but I think it might be good enough for me.
Our Tim Sylvia guy's back.
I'd love to.
Do you remember?
I'd love to get Tim Sylvia on the pod. Yeah.
Davidson.
Pete Davidson's bodyguard. I'd love to. That'd be great. I don't know if he does interviews, though.
This is the biggest Tim Sylvia fan in the world. Big boy.
That's
shout out you.
And then we're on to the co-main event, right? Already. Yeah. Justin Gaethje versus fizzyev. I say his name wrong every fucking time. I always go back and forth. It's like a USB. I got 50-50 shot. I do it wrong every single time. I saw another post last night. Who was it? Was it a Spinnin Backfist post or was it another MMA account post that was like, Justin Gaethje is like a D1 wrestler, had an amazing match with Jordan Burroughs, and he's going to go out there and have a kickboxing fight with a kickboxer for our entertainment this weekend.
Yeah, I mean,
kind of. I mean, like, yes and no. I mean,
Yeah.
I like to give his hands a little more credit, probably, but I mean,
well, yeah,
he's not like total. I mean,
he's not a wrestler who's going to try to kickbox.
He's going to go against like a world class like Muay Thai fighter, like world class.
Yeah,
there was.
See, I've struggled with this fight because fizzyev is really good. He's a pretty big favorite, which I was not shocked by, but I didn't think he'd be as big a favorite as he is. I thought Gaethje would get more respect, but at the same time, it is interesting. Like a few people, I'm seeing a bunch of accounts point out this week about like if you really look at like his UFC resume, it hasn't aged particularly well. Like, but at the same time, it's the times have kind of just changed, like from his time in the UFC. Like you can't look at a Michael Johnson when he did it the same way like you look at one now, and kind of things like that, like James Vick and like Barbosa 155 and stuff like that. But I don't know. I mean, I don't want to bet Gaethje in this fight, even as a dog. I think fizzjev's the right side. I
would bet Gaethje in this fight if
I think Gaethje gets wild. And if Gaethje, if he brawls here, like I think he's gonna get caught.
Yeah, I would bet Gaethje in this fight if not for his Barstool slander. I would have liked him in this fight. Now, no.
I enjoy watching the fight. Like I think we're gonna get just a banger of a fight, but I think fizzjev's gonna catch him.
Yeah. Fizzyev or Gaethje's 6-4 in the UFC, which is surprising. It feels like he's been, like, I don't know, 10-3 or something. I mean, a lot of those losses
because he just keeps getting this in the spot where like he wins one fight and he just gets another title shot.
So this is kind of, I'm not saying it for sure, but it's kind of his last shot here.
I don't disagree with you.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And if he doesn't win this, it's going to be tough to rise back in those rankings. I mean, it's possible because he's a guy that if he knocks somebody out and then just two knockouts in a row, he could get another title shot.
Yeah.
But you're right. I think fizzyev, and also, I don't know if you guys remember, fizzyev is training with this guy, Daz
the European Greco-Roman champ.
Rafael Fizzyev working with two-time European under-23 and combat sambo world bronze medalist Dazambula Thabib Magomed Karamamedov. This is a joke.
Bless you.
It's not real. they just made this guy just like made the most Dagestani name ever, and he's and then I think this guy who made it said like I'll find the next tweet, but this is I quote tweeted it from Spinning Backfist back in February saying, guarantee Gaethje doesn't have a Dazambula Thebe Magomed Karamamedov in his camp. Huge edge for Gaethje or for Fizzyev.
And then the main event, the fight everyone's been waiting for. Leon Edwards defends his title against Kamaru Usman. What are the odds on the Barstool Sportsbook for this one? We've been going back and forth. You said on the show last week you guys like Leon Edwards in this one. I've been going back and forth. We've had both these guys on the show before. I like both these guys. My brain says Edwards. Or my brain says Usman. My heart says Edwards.
Before we continue.
Yeah, go ahead.
We should shout out before the main event.
Oh, yes.
What we will be drinking during the main event.
Yep.
Responsibly, of course. Proper number 12. Obviously, all of you saw proper number 12 across social medias, YouTube this past week with Robbie and McGregor. And look, there we go. Proper number 12.
Oh, yeah.
And they are presenting this show. And shout out proper number 12. We love proper number 12. Enjoy your St. Patty's Day weekend, March Madness, UFC 286 with proper number 12.
And the Irish apple, the new flavor.
Yeah, they got the Irish, got the apple. The apple tasting like.
Get both. Get the original. You need the original because, like, how do you know the Irish apple tastes amazing if you don't know what the original tastes like as well? You try both. You put one shot of each out for everyone at your pregame. It's a little taste test for everybody. 2 rounds with the champ. You can call it the champ shot. Right? The double champ. Oh, wow. The double champ. 1 shot of proper, 1 shot of proper Irish apple. That's good.
Those bottles, they just like, there's something about a great looking bottle. And the proper number 12, if there's something they did, they made an amazing bottle. And that's even before you taste it. It just looks sick. You come in with the proper number 12, yes, you're fucking. All right? You're fucking.
Yeah, red panty night. It's red panty night. Shout out proper number 12. Thank you for sponsoring the show. We love you. We appreciate you. And now the main event. Going from one paradigm guy to another, Leon Edwards and Conor McGregor, both under the same management. Well, I think they were. I don't know if Leon still is. I don't know. I think he's still connected. Trevor Whitman going to have Justin and Kamaru ready this weekend. That's another factor. Trevor Whitman coaching both of them. He'll be in the corner for both. For this one, again, I think I will bet Leon out of my just heart play, but I don't know if he's going to be able to do it again.
I think he's going to do it again. Not the same way, not just like that, but I think he might go out and like just win the fight.
Yeah.
In terms of like not like he's down the cards and lands like a head kick knockout with a minute left in the 5th round. I think he might go out and like win this fight for real, like on the scorecards. However, I don't know. I just think there's a big we talked about it, I guess, a little bit in the episode on Tuesday. I just think there's there's a huge mental thing here. Like, this guy was a dominant champion forever, just got knocked out cold. Not a crazy short layoff, but also not crazy long either to recover, 6 months. I think Leon's come with all the confidence in the world. I think the altitude thing is a bigger factor that people are maybe giving credit for. I think the fact that that last fight was in Salt Lake City in high altitude, where Kamaru trains in Denver, he trains in high altitude. Leon doesn't do that; he trains sea level, and I think that was definitely hurting him. As the mid rounds went on, you're not used to that. Where Kamaru just trains in that. That's what he does.
Jack, I can't believe you even put that on screen.
From Hot Billy.
Thanks, Hot Billy. Anyways,
yeah,
continue.
Talking shit. What the fuck? But yeah, I don't know. I really think Leon's going to get it done again. I really do. If he doesn't, I'll give Kamaru a ton of credit. I mean, this is going to be the 15th time that I think like a former belt holder is like in a rematch is fighting for that belt again. The person in Kamaru's spot is 3-11 in those fights.
Wow, that's a
Even,
crazy
for example,
stat.
and all fights are different, but I want to bring this fight as kind of an example. The Stipe Cormier trilogy. Think about obviously the first fight. Cormier goes in there, knocks him out like first round, lands a big shot. Think about that second fight. Cormier was winning the entire fight, won every single round.
Yeah.
And then Stipe just started to find those body shots, took it to him, beat him, and then dominated the third fight. Absolutely dominated it. All fights are different. I'm not saying that's like just how it's going to happen, but I'm just using that as an example of like you can see fights where one guy looks dominant in the fight before, gets caught, loses, and then the next fight it's totally different.
Yeah.
So I think people are just assuming that Kamaru is just going to be able to just dominate again, like the wrestling, all that. And can he do that? Like, I'm not saying that's not like definitely not going to happen. That absolutely could happen. But I think people are unjust to just assume that he's going to go in there and just do exactly what he did the first time, but just not get caught. Like, I think we could be looking at a totally different fight where Kamaru's in deep waters and they're both where it's just like a war of a fight. It's close kind of thing.
Are you worried about Usman's knees? Yes.
I definitely am worried about Kamaru's knees for sure.
Yes.
I think Leon's a little more like fight fresh. I think Kamaru's a little more like fight older, just like he's had a little more cage time and things like that.
Wear and tear on the knees for sure.
I'm betting on Leon. I like Leon.
And Lee says, does Usman retire with a win? Something that we also discussed a little bit on Tuesday's show. I think he retires no matter what. That is my bold prediction for this weekend. Bold prediction. Mark it down. Kamaru Usman retires after this fight.
So
I'm not saying he should or he I'm saying I believe in his mind he's like, I'm done.
Also, for Usman, let's just say from the retirement perspective, if he retires after a loss to Leon, he's still one of the greatest of all time. And I think everybody will say that. His run was phenomenal. He won his biggest rivalry. He beat the likes of, look at what Gilbert Burns has done since Usman's beat him. He dethroned somebody that we thought was one of the greatest of all time in Tyron Woodley. That didn't really end up being true. But, that was one of the more dominating fights in the history of challengers against contenders. Now, all that being said, even with a win too, retiring would be great. That being said, if he wins, does he really? I think the only thing is if he wins, I think he sees one more payday. And that payday is if Conor beats Chandler. Usman could get one more payday, and it really wouldn't be – he could get knocked out by Conor, but it really wouldn't be like – that would be a massive payday for him. I think it's – I tweeted this last night. I think Conor's if he beats Chandler at 170, is his title shot right there, like right away? I think it's possible, which is crazy because but it's not that crazy. He's Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
So I could see after this fight, whoever wins, and Conor saying on Ariel, I'm going to go to the fights. He's going, and I think the UFC is like, you should probably go, wink, wink, and just be like, be cage side, and then after the fight, we can bring you in, or they'll call you out. Like, imagine Leon calling out Conor after, or even Usman would call him out. It'd be cringe as fuck. But Leon calling him out would be sick. And then he's like, Leon would be like, he could call him a bum or whatever and be like, hey, you beat Chandler, then it's you and I. And then that would be one of the biggest fights. I don't know in UFC history, but it would be close.
Oh, of course it would be.
Also, great at on Ariel. It was so funny. Ariel's like you're looking like if you beat Chandler looking for a title shot, he's like, yeah, I'd like that.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. Give me one of them title shots.
Yeah.
Which also would be all time. He beats like the number 5 ranked lightweight, and
He gets a welterweight title shot.
In his, I guess it won't be his welterweight debut. He beat Hadley 2-0 with wins over Cerrone and Michael Chandler.
Yep.
And Diaz too. The Diaz fight was at 170.
Oh yeah, Diaz in a loss.
Well, he got the win back at 172.
Yeah, I told you, he's 3-1, I guess, in his
in
his welterweight career.
And I think at 170, it's kind of okay to hold up what it is right now, this weight class, if you were to give Conor, because it's not like Shavkat, Hamzat, whatnot won't be around for the next 5 to 10 years. But those guys will complain. But imagine if Conor beats and then it's Conor. My ideal thing is Leon beats Usman, Leon Conor beats Leon, and then we have the greatest and cringiest trash talk matchup of all time, Conor Colby, for just like it may turn into Conor loving Colby so much because Colby is just like him. He'll say whatever he wants.
Yeah.
And then Bilal's in the corner just pounding his fists.
Oh my God! Yeah,
he's already yesterday. He's already like, because they were Ariel was talking about this 170 title picture of like someone sending a fan question of like give like scenarios of say like Kamaru wins, if Kamaru loses, what happens? And Bilal, he literally just like brought up like 3 names and Bilal was one of them, and instantly Bilal was like, all right, like throw out Bilal. Like it was all right, like, what do we do now? Like it was so funny. Like well, he just totally dismissed Bilal, and then Bilal like quote tweeted it and was like, I'm on an 8-fight win streak, like I'm beating like 3 ranked guys in a row. Just beat like 15-0 guy, like finished them. Like, what more do I got to do? Like, blah blah kind of thing. He's like, just like put a single ass in the seat.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't hate Bilal. Like,
I like him. Yeah.
Frustrating it is, but it's like when you're just not. Like, you just don't move the needle. It's just like what it is what it is. It's either you do or you don't.
Remember when Bilal got mad at you, Robbie, because you said you didn't like pressing 2 buttons to go to ESPN Plus?
Oh yeah,
that was so
like a salty tweet.
Bro.
Yeah,
like, come on,
I'm also with you about that, Robbie. If I'm watching the prelims and it go like, why do I have to change?
So annoying. Because I always forget, and I'm like, this is a long ass commercial, and then I actually look at the screen and I'm like, oh, it says like change your screen. So yeah, that was UFC 286 gambling breakdown preview, whatever you want to call it. The Aljamain Sterling interview is out now. Go check it out right after this video. Make sure you like this video as well. And at noon, make sure you tune into Ev's college basketball stream. He's with the whole gang in Columbus. You'll get to see everyone sweating out their bets. Barstool Sportsbook. Do you got bets today in the Sportsbook, Ev, for college basketball?
Yeah, I guess for anyone who wants my early ones, I haven't put them out yet, actually. I did a cleanse the last 12 hours. I need to get my head right. I need to figure some things out. I think I've done it. I'm going Maryland first game. What's the second game?
The Terps.
Maryland. I have what is
Virginia Furman.
I have Furman in the second game. I have San Diego State. I have going. I'll be tweeting out the plays though.
Thank you, Matt.
Follow Ev. Thank you, Matt, for tuning in. And everyone that's watching this, please go watch that Aljamain Sterling interview and give it a thumbs up. I think it's a good one. All right, we will talk to you guys on Tuesday. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Like, subscribe, proper number 12, buy some. Watch if you haven't, which would be crazy, but if you haven't watched the McGregor interview too.
Yes, please watch that as well. All right, we'll talk to you guys next week.